What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Gabriel Show. Now, hold up, guys. Listen, I am a nurse, and I know you're wondering, why am I laid up in this bed? Oh, let me explain. Let me get my handy dandy beauty rest remote, and let me sit up. See, what I'm doing right now is what you're actually taught to do in school. Put your patient's bed to 30 to 45 degrees, but actually, I'm going to sit up all the way because I'm going to drink some coffee and I don't want to aspirate while I talk to you guys. So listen, we have a lot to discuss this morning. Grab your coffee, whatever you guys have. We're going to have a conversation, okay? So check it out. I've been a nurse for about 7 years now, okay? And I feel like I've been through it all right? I just counted. I think I did my 40,000 boost, all right? My 40,000, all right? I don't know if I said it right, but I'm pretty sure I did 40,000 boost, all right? You know what I mean by boost? I'm talking about that back breaking, have to put the bed in Transdellenberg and pull the patients up, all right? See me? I'm a male nurse. So when I work in a field full of a majority of females, they look at me like, Gabe is here. Yeah, Gabe is here. You know me, being friendly and whatnot, volunteering. Oh, here I come. Pulling up. Now, guys, let me tell you something. I'm on strict bed rest, all right? I'm on strict bed rest. I've been off for 5 days now. And to be honest with you, my back hurts, bro. My back is killing me. It's aching, bro. I don't know. You ever heard about the, what is it called again? The C1 and then the lumbar and then the sacral? I'm pretty sure my L1 through 4 got a problem right now, man. I'm gonna need a fusion and all that if this don't slow down a little bit, you know what I mean? But I'm relaxing. You know, I got one of them icy hots and I'm just chilling in bed, and I wanted to speak to a bunch of you guys out there today, all the nurses out there in the world. Let's just talk about it. All right, let's try to break down the nursing game in bits and pieces and see how we could digest this thing to save our backs. All right, I'm trying to save your back. So you have to be smart about the nursing game, okay? Because burnout is real, all right? And I know you're wondering, what is burnout? Huh? There's no such thing as burnout. I'm young. No, it's real. And it's going to affect you, whether it's physically or mentally, okay? When I started working as a nurse, I was working a lot of hours, guys. First of all, the hours are long. I was doing 12-hour shifts. Then I was working at a nursing home in the beginning, actually. And those hours are 8 hours, and I would do doubles. So I'd end up working 16 hours. Sometimes I'd do 4 16-hour shifts, 5 16-hour shifts. I didn't care, right? And I was younger then. I started my career when I was 22. And so, yeah, I was getting a lot of money. I didn't think about burnout. I didn't think about none of that stuff. And guys, let me tell you something, man. Because I'm not going to say I'm an OG now, but I've been in the game for a minute. Any new nurses out there, I want to give you guys some practical advice, right? That's going to help you in not only your career, but your life, okay? So let's say you just started your career, you're working as an LPN, all right? Now, let's be real. LPNs, most places they could work at a lot of places. You could be working in, you could work as a home health. You could do the nursing home, which we all know. And there's some other agency gigs that you could do, but there's not that much options in comparison to RN, right? Pretty sure as an LPN, you could work in a prison too. There's a lot that you can do, don't get me wrong, but your options are limited. I know a lot of people who graduate from LPN school and end up working at a nursing home, right? That's what I did, because I started as an LPN first, okay? Now, this is what's going to happen, all right? You're going to start working as an LPN. And what they taught you in nursing school, right? Everything they taught you, first of all, they're going to teach you how to do most of the CNA work in the beginning. And then you're going to get a little bit of the nursing stuff towards the end. But life really starts hitting once you start working, okay? Now, if you think that you're just going to make this money and start flexing, oh man, you guys are in for some, for a rude awakening, all right? When you start working, listen, you're going to see what's going to happen. You're going to get a nice reality check, okay? You're probably going to work at a nursing home, and you're going to get your check. You're going to be like, oh, this is nice, all right? But then little by little, you're going to start to realize, like, damn, this is what short feels like? I got to take this cart on this side of the hallway and that side of the hallway? Wait, you mean to tell me there's 20 patients on this side of the hallway and that's 40 patients? And then you're like, I don't remember doing 40 patients in clinicals. I actually had to follow one person and give 2 med passes, right? So eventually you're like, After a while, the honeymoon phase passed. You got your first check and you're like, damn, I could deal with this. That's okay. Let me work a lot. Then after that, you get your 3rd check, 4th check, and then you're like, this is too much. I can't deal with this stuff. Because you're dealing with a lot of the politics. There's a lot of unethical things going on, right? Supervisors putting pressure on you, forcing you to work under staff. And the funny thing about the nursing homes is this, right? If they see that they could work with one nurse to do both sides, let's say you don't want to do it, you refuse, right? If any nurse decides to do it and they see that it's possible, they're going to let it slide. It's going to become the new norm, right? So what happens? You want to go back to school, okay? You want to go back to school. So you do go back to school, Now you're in that process of going for your RN, trying to find a bridge program. And you take on more loans, you take on, whatever the case is, more risk, and now you go for your RN, all right? And then you start working at the hospital, okay? Now, you left the nursing home, and now you start working possibly in med-surg, because as a new nurse, most nurses start working med-surg, and it's like night shifts, most likely, because it's going to be hard to get a day shift position. So you get that position, and you know what? It's different because you don't have 40 patients, but now you have like 10 patients. And these patients it's like more acute. They're a little bit more unstable than the patients you had at the nursing home. Then you start to realize, holy snap. After a while, guys, that honeymoon phase pass. Once you're done telling your family and everybody, oh, I don't work at a nursing home anymore. I work at a hospital. Ooh, right? You start to realize, hold up, med-surg is OD because there's a lot of turnover. You start getting admissions left and right. You don't even know you got an admission. You walk into the room, you see a new body. You're like, hold up, right? And on top of that, you're like, all right, this is crazy, right? And guys, meanwhile, you're racking up student loans. You're probably racking up a lot of debt because you're trying to enjoy your life at the same time. You're trying to travel. You got to keep up with the Jones, right? With your Instagram stories. And so you said, all right, I got to get out of here. While you just started that med-surg program, you're like, on the side, the hospital's going to pay for my BSN. So let me go for my BSN too. So now you're trying to find time to balance that time to go get your BSN while you're working in the hospital. And eventually you're like, I got to get out of med-surg. Now you're looking for a new unit. Probably go to step down. Realize it's the same BS, right? And then eventually, let's say you go to the ICU, all right? Now, the ICU is going to have, it's going to be a whole different ball game, right? Because you're going to have less patients, probably 2 patients. If it's a really, really bad day, 3 patients max with a protest, right? Because you're going to want to protest, right? And trust me, at this point, you done got your bachelor's already, and you're just trying to find out what's going on because throughout the years, you've been dealing with a lot of bullshit. Let's just be real. Understaffed. After a while, because of inflation and the economy, you start to realize you're underpaid. Ain't that funny? Because before, you was working at McDonald's, right? So you weren't used to no under. Listen, you get paid $25 an hour as LPN, you're happy. But what happens is you start to realize a lot of people start to live above their means and they start to need more money, right? They start to need more money, more income. And so they just feel unsatisfied. But we're going to talk about that, right? Because now you're in the ICU and you're still trying to figure out why are you unhappy, right? You're working more hours, trying to pay for your expenses that you racked up throughout the years, your student loans. And these patients are really acute, okay? It could be 2 patients, but you know what? You're in charge of them. And what happens is a lot of the work you put in, all that critical thinking and everything you do, let me tell you something. Sometimes, I hate to say it, I'm not going to say it like that. I'm not going to say it's all for nothing. But you see a majority of these patients, they die, right? They die. Hate to say it, guys. I don't want to make it sound like there's no hope. But during COVID, our goal was to not have a patient get intubated. Because you know what? If you're a doctor and if you're a nurse, you guys already know. Once you're intubated, it's a wrap, okay? Doctors and everybody is going to try to just I'm not going to say we're selling hope, but we know the facts, guys. Nurses is not going to say nothing, but the doctor's job is to be straight up, blunt, and tell you guys, hey, man, the prognosis is terrible. And so what happens is you start to deal with death a lot. And now this is like an unreal feeling, because when you're working at the nursing home, probably once in a while when you walk in, you see a dead body, like, oh, snap. And nobody knows how to do CPR, so you gotta just call the ambulance and whatever the case is, and you probably step back. You weren't really involved as much. You've seen death a little bit, but in the ICU, it's times 10. So you have less patients. But now, it's just the reality of death. You see it every day, in and out. You get to the point where death becomes normalized. And now, this is where you start to achieve that mental burnout, right? You already got the physical burnout throughout the years of boosting everybody. Your back hurts. You probably developed arthritis. In my case, I became a pre-diabetic, right? Gained a lot of weight. I got into a lot of debt, right? I got into a lot of debt trying to keep up with the Jones. You know, nurses. It's not our fault. It's not our fault, guys. We see so much death every day. We see so much stuff. When we clock out, we want to live our best lives. You know, so people be judging us because we like to take trips, shake our ass in Jamaica on the beach. But you don't know what type of rapid response we just dealt with, right? You don't know what we dealt with, and you don't know what we're going through, right? Undervalued, underpaid. Only time we got appreciated was during the pandemic, and that was for a hot 2 years. After that, you know what I mean? We getting thrown under the bus. They making Netflix documentaries. People are going to court. And, you know, we're just complaining at this point, right? We're just complaining. So you know what, guys? As a OG nurse who's on bed rest right now, who's speaking to a new grad nurse, I'm making this video to let you know that nursing is a beautiful profession. I think you're literally doing God's work, right? There's a lot that you're going to deal with, physical and mental burnout, right? Dealing with death every day, trying to, I don't know, is this normal? What effect is it going to have on me long term? But I'm at the point where it gave me clarity, right? To realize that I was chasing, what am I chasing, right? Because you see my YouTube channel is a completely different perspective. I take on different risks every day, because I want to live like every day is my last day, okay? Because I see people, and I see so much people who are chasing a higher degree, who wants to escape the bedside, to do something else, but then they find themselves still unhappy. Because most of my coworkers, once you get to the ICU and you realize you don't know what to chase again, they do, all right, let me go for my CRNA. Let me go for NP, psych NP, something. But you're still working, right? You're still working. And even if you get a new job doing anything else, those lasting effects is still there, man. Your back hurts. And that's why you want to get the higher degree, because now you want to escape the bedside. The reason why you want to escape the bedside is because you don't want a back brace, right? Am I lying? And now when you got your new job, you sitting down for so long, whatever you're doing, and now you got to put on compression stockings. You got to be taking heparin sub-Q, because now you're not trying to develop a blood clot, right? We go from trying to chase the wealth for so long, And most nurses later on in their career, and now they're trying to chase their health. They're trying to be like, oh crap, I got to do physical therapy. You guys know how many OG nurses is doing physical therapy right now because their back hurts? Right? Do you know how many of us are out there right now who's trying to get our body rights because we were unable to work? We were unable to work out. Why? So, guys, I'm at a point in my career where I made videos talking about this, but I've learned the perfect balance is to work less. See what I'm trying to say? I don't care about the money, right? I don't care about how much money I make because it's really about what you do with the money you have. So I'm making this video because I really want to talk to you guys who are just starting your career, right? I told you the reality of my career. Everything I just explained to you was my journey, right? I don't know if you guys could be able to relate to that journey, but if I can go back to the beginning of my nursing career, this is what I would do, okay? I would try to get my finances in order, right? Try to get your finances in order as fast as possible, guys. So when you start your career, I want you to act like you're still a broke college student. You know how you were broke during nursing school and you had to use your credit card and you had to borrow money to survive? Listen, as soon as you pass the NCLEX, this is your goal. You're going to start working, right? There's going to be a lot of bullshit you're going to see, whether you're LPN or RN. I know it's going to be unfair, but you know what? It's going to take a while for our voices to be heard, for change to truly happen. But in the meantime, that don't mean that you can't save yourself, right? You got to save yourself. You got to put yourself in a position where you no longer, I hate to say it, but depend on a job, all right? And I know we all need a job, but we have to put ourselves in a position where we don't become a slave to the job. Because what we do as nurses is we become slaves to the job. What do I mean by that? Well, I became a slave to my job because when I graduated, I bought 2 BMWs, right? They're depreciating asset, liability. I put myself in a position where I had car payments over $1,000 a month. So that means I had to go to work, right? I didn't know I was getting burnt out because when my friends would see me, right, being young, I was trying to bag biddies. I was trying to be a cool guy. They would see me driving a drop top. They would see me driving all these nice cars. But meanwhile, I didn't know I was signing up for slavery, volunteer slavery too, on top of that, right? So it would cause me to go to work. It would cause me to deal with the BS. And I couldn't advocate for myself and I couldn't say anything because I'd be afraid to speak. Why? I got bills to pay. So when the supervisor says, shut your mouth, you're going to take this patient, what are you going to do? You're going to be like, damn it, I can't say nothing. I got a big mortgage to pay. So I'm trying to just go back in time and help out the new nurses with this video. When you graduate, I want you to keep that mentality of being a broke college student. Your goal is to pay off your debt as soon as possible. All right? You hear me? Whether that's your credit card debt, okay? Whether that's your student loans, or whether that's any money you borrowed from people. Because that's one of the debt people don't talk about. See, you have a friend or a cousin or somebody who held you down when you was broke. You know what I mean? You know them phone calls when you're like, listen, man, I'm not going to hold you. You know how you complaining? Oh, man, my car, I just need gas. And then they're like, yo, listen, let me just tell you something real quick. And they give you $200. Listen, if God bless you with that new paycheck, pay them back. Pay everybody back and don't change nothing. If you're living at home with your mother, stay there. All right. If you had a roommate, don't kick them out because all of a sudden you want to get that Instagram modern apartment. You want to have that luxury apartment, that floor to ceiling glass windows, right? Now you're trying to make TikToks thinking people care. Nobody cares, bro. You're just putting yourself in debt. All right. So that's the first goal. Let's pay off all our debt. Okay. All our consumer debt. The next thing I want you to do is build an emergency fund. What is that? Emergency fund is going to be money set aside for emergencies. So if your car breaks down, if there's any type of life event, like a random funeral, and you have to give somebody you know what I mean, like $2,000 just to contribute or anything, right? Any emergency, something happens in your house, you need a repair. Okay. So for once you're in your orientation, if you get a job at the hospital or at the nursing home and you're in that 3-month probation period, I want you guys to put this in your mindset. This is the next goal after you pass the NCLEX. Pay off all your debt. then at least build an emergency fund. Let me give you guys a number because I don't know everybody's expenses, but at least try to stack up $10,000, okay? Try to stack up $10,000 in a high yield savings account. We're going to talk about it. I'm going to go into details, but it could be, I use Ali, and this ain't financial advice, guys, because I'm not trying to get sued early this morning in the bed. But listen, take this as a grain of salt. But I use Ali, but you guys could search up any other high yield savings. Just go on Google, okay? When you're done doing that, I want you to take your ass down to HR. Walk down to HR, and I want you to ask them, hey, how can I get involved in this 401k business? Is there a match, right? So many nurses is focused on how much do I get paid an hour? And then you will leave a good job that will give you a double match on your 401k just because they're paying you $1 more. Why? Because we're not knowledgeable and we don't have that education. They don't teach retirement or financial literacy in nursing school, okay? So that's what I want you to do. If you have to go back and take notes in this video, do it, all right? Because I'm about to take notes my damn self. I wish I could go back in time and listen to what I'm saying. But the thing is, you're going to be super young. If you did it right from high school and you graduated, right, you're probably in your 20s. So if you start to contribute money in your 401k while you're in your 20s, I'm telling you guys, what you have that other people don't have is something called time, right? You're so young. You are so young, and your money is worth more than somebody who is in their 30s, 40s, or 50s, okay? There's something called compound interest that's going to help you, all right? Now, I ain't no financial guru, so a lot of the things I'm saying, you're just going to have to write it down, right? But compound interest is going to help you, all right? So that's the one thing I want you to do. Now I want you to have a decision, okay? Because we're investing in something called the 401k. The 401k is a retirement account. You can't touch that until you're 60. But now you can have other options. Meanwhile, guys, while I'm telling you all this, I didn't tell you to move out yet, right? I didn't tell you to do none of that. How do you want to change? What changes do you want to make in your life? Because I know you have a little boo thing. I know you have a man or you have a girl. You want to leave your parents' house. Okay. If you have an emergency fund and you're investing in a 401k and you feel the need to move out, okay, you could, right? But you also have to think, do you want to rent forever? Do you want to rent forever? Because, guys, the way this economy is going, listen, people are getting maxed out. The housing market. A lot of millennials, we can't buy homes. It's tough. Okay, now we're talking about real life things. Do you want to buy a house? Okay, do you want to buy a house? Stay at your parents' house for as long as possible. And then I want you guys to buy a property. All right, that's what I did. I stayed at my mother's house for as long as possible until I was able to buy my first property. Okay, and guess what? I didn't buy no jumbo house. I didn't buy a big house. Listen, so many people are mad at me. Caribbean people were mad at me because I didn't buy a big house. I bought a foreclosure, a 2-bedroom condo. People were laughing at me saying, oh, look at that. When are you going to get a real house? But the thing is, I got a foreclosure because I knew I'd be able to afford it. I knew that because, listen, I knew I would have the option to pay it off because it wasn't that much money. It didn't look the best. I had to do a lot of repairs here. But you know what? I could afford it. And I was able to afford it by myself. Guys, the advice I'm giving you is going to help you. Because if you stay at home and you save up for a down payment and you rack up and you buy something, you buy a property, I'm telling you, real estate is going to help you. All right? Real estate will help you in your journey. It will help increase your net worth. All right? And it's going to help give you stability. And the one thing I'm trying to tell you now, if you're a nurse, don't buy a big house. You don't need a big house. You don't need to get a gigantic house. Because I work with a lot of nurses now who work 2 jobs to pay for a mortgage, right? And they don't have a chance to stay in their house. They don't have a chance to take care of their bodies or their physical health. They're working for a box that they can't live in, right? And they end up dying. And then the government takes the box back because they didn't pay it off. You see what I'm trying to say? So that's the next step. After you're done signing up for the 401k, I want you to save up for a down payment. Purchase a property, all right? Even if it's a 1-bedroom apartment. Instead of renting it, I want you to buy it. And guys, I know this might not apply to everybody, but there are some kids who are living at home with their parents. In today's economy, this is the only way we can get ahead, okay? All right, so now you have that down payment. And now you bought your first property, whether it's a 1-bedroom apartment, whether it's a 2-bedroom apartment, it's a condo, right? Try to find a little condo. Try to find something cheap, something that you could afford. It don't need to be a 4-bedroom. It don't need to be a big old nice house, guys. Okay? Now, if you're working hard in the beginning of your career, all right, this is the final goal I have for you. The final goal. And you're doing this while you're in your 20s, right, guys? I'm 29 years old. I wish I can go back in time and give this game to somebody. I want you to try to stack up 100 grand as fast as possible in a brokerage account, okay? Not necessarily your retirement account. You could stack it up in your retirement account, but the thing is, you won't be able to access that when you're 60, until you're 60, okay? But if you put 100 grand, let's say if you have Robinhood, y'all know these apps, Robinhood, what else do they have? Acorns, whatever. Speak to a financial advisor. But if you put 100 grand in your 20s in a taxable brokerage account, let me tell you something. The power of you're going to be an inevitable millionaire, okay? Because that 100 grand is just going to start working by itself. It's going to start making more money than you can make once you get into your 30s. Once you get later on into your career, guys, I'm telling you, because I want you to be in a position where you have no debt, okay? Where you're working to collect assets, right? Your money is working harder for you. Even when you're not working, your money's making money for you. Do you see what I'm trying to say? And the reason why I'm saying this is because I want you to become financially stable so that this way you're not working for liabilities and you're not working trying to chase degrees, trying to chase all these different titles, trying to find an escape, because the escape you're searching for is your time. You're upset that you don't get to spend Thanksgiving with your family because you have to work. You're upset that you don't have a chance to spend time with your son or your daughter because you have to work. That's what you're upset about. It's not because you want a new degree. It's not because you want a new job. People say, oh no, I love this job. All right, so if you were to wake up tomorrow with $1 million in your account, how would you feel? Would you still go for it? And the thing about it is, nursing is a noble profession. I love it. Whether I was to have that or not in my account, I'd still do it. But the thing is, there's a lot of you guys who actually love nursing, but you get burnt out from it because of your outside life, because you get physically and mentally burnt out, because you don't have your finances in order. But if you could put yourself in a position where you don't need to work a lot, right? Where you could work less and you can enjoy your greatest asset of all, which is time, right? Because if you can enjoy the time with your family members, with your friends, and have that balance and still feel like you're contributing to the world and your society by being a registered nurse. And if you want to go back if you want to go back to school for CRNA or NP, do it by all means. I'm just telling you, don't go into debt doing it. I don't think it's worth it, because you're just going to be a slave and you're going to put yourself in a position where you're going to have to work. And guys, at the end of the day, I just don't want you to be like me. Bed rest and your back hurting because you were working so much, because you were in a lot of debt. And you know what I mean? Chasing, I don't even know what I was chasing, man. All right. Now I need a back brace and ibuprofen. Okay. I made all these mistakes and I figured it out too late. And now that I'm approaching my 30s, I'm taking care of my health more, and I'm not working as much anymore, guys. To be honest with you, people are surprised. I don't pick up as much. And you know what? I'm okay with that, right? My paychecks don't look the same. I don't get paid as much as I used to get paid. But you know what I have more of now? I have more time, right? Like I said, I was off for 5 days. My back hurts, but you know what? My son was on this bed with me, and he was jumping around, laughing, and all that stuff. And I'd rather do that sometimes. I still work as a nurse, but now I work at my pace, right? I work at my pace. I'm able to spend time with my wife, and I'm able to just live a comfortable life. I'm not telling you I'm rich, but I made sacrifices, right, to pay off my debt and to make everything I'm telling you I did, right, to put money aside in investments so that this way money could be working for me whether I'm at work or not. I'm not at work now. But you know what? I hate to say it. After the election, I looked at my portfolio, boom, it went up, right? And I'm saying this to you not as a humble brag or a boast, but this could be your case. This could be your case. But the thing is, they didn't teach this in school. Florence Nightingale didn't want you to know this. They don't want to teach you guys this, okay? Because they want us to stay in this slavery, right? They want us to stay in this cycle, this back-breaking cycles. And what happens is, when you get to a point later on in life and you realize, like, man, a lot of people are dying, and you know, you have grandkids and you want to spend time with your grandkids, but you can't because you put yourself in these financial obligations when you're in your 20s. You're going to think back like, damn, maybe I shouldn't have got this big old house. Maybe I shouldn't have got this car. Maybe I shouldn't have put myself in all this debt. So what I'm trying to say is, I want to help you new nurses out there to get your finances in order, so that this way you could truly love the profession. All right? I love nursing more than ever now. When I pick up, I don't even feel like it's work. I feel retired, to be honest with you. I'm actually going there to help. I'm actually going there to make a difference, right? I could make videos and just talk about changes. Like, you know, I could stand up to certain things, because you know what? I'm not worried about certain things anymore. You guys can't take my car away from me. It's paid for, right? You can't kick me out my house, right? It's paid for. You can't do that. You can't play me. So we can make changes like this, guys. So if we could have 100 nurses who become financially literate, if we could have 1,000 nurses, if we could have 100,000 nurses, we can make change, right? We could come together. We could invest together, right? We could build nursing homes together. We could build hospitals together. They don't want that. But I'm trying to be that voice, because I have dreams and I have goals, and I want to create and I want to build with you guys, you nurses out there, right? Because I'm tired of my back hurting. All right, I'm tired of my back hurting. But I made this video for any new nurses out there. This is the story of my career. I hope you guys got any gems from it. Okay, I want to help you guys. If you guys have any questions, my email is fritzgabriel7734@icloud.com. Any nurse out there who's in nursing school, anybody who has debt, let's talk about it. I can help you guys on your journey, right? I paid off $300,000 worth of debt, and I could help you in your journey. I'm not an investor guru, but you know what? Like, I made some sacrifices, and I'm telling you, right? It's up. And I want that for you, and I want to make change. I want to make change. I'm going to make change in the medical field. Believe it or not. All right? But anyways, I love and appreciate you guys. I'm going to head out. Peace. I mean, something's really different. Something's really specific. I mean, I really made $1 million in a minute. I haven't made $1 million in a minute. Maybe if I really make $1 minute. How much do you make in a minute? Boy, I make a lot. Listen, man, the dividend, I block. Oh my God, why are they trying to block my stock? Trying to cop a GameStop stock. But damn it, boy, did you make $1 million in a minute? I don't know. Haven't been here in a minute. Haven't been in the zone, man. Yeah, I'm finished. And they let me off, man. Yeah, I'm finished.